And welcome to Bowling Green, Kentucky, here on the Hill Seats Diddle Arena, which today hosts this Conference USA matchup between WKU and Liberty. I'm Tyler Eaton, joined courtside in Diddle by Hal Schmidt. Hal, we're getting a rematch of the conference opener for these two teams, as is the case conference-wide, and as is the case conference-wise, the implications for the conference tournament, massive.
Absolutely. Liberty's trying to lock up the #1 seed and hopefully a league championship here tonight. The Hilltoppers, on the other hand, the league defending champions, are trying to get out of the Final Four seeds. The Final Four, the lower four seeds, will have to play 4 games over a 5-day period. The top 6 will only play 3. So top's working for some seeding at this point.
If you're WKU and you want to get a win in this game, it's pretty clear who you're going to have to stop, and that's Taylen Peter. He's been on fire as of late, and all season long, Hal, just super efficient.
Yeah, and he had 33 points in their win against Middle Tennessee on Thursday. Their leading scorer. He's a complete player on both ends of the court.
For WKU, one of their 13 seniors honored before this game, Christian Lander, the Indiana transfer. He's been playing extremely well in conference play.
He was a five-star guard out of high school, recruited. He's been at WKU for 4 seasons. He's added more this season than any of the years past. He'll be the fastest player on the court today.
Averaging 16 points per game over his last 9, and that's huge, Hal, because we look at the conference standings, like you said, Liberty trying to lock up that top spot, and WKU, they can either finish 6th or 7th, which may not seem like a huge difference on the surface, but as you just ran through, extremely important if you want to win a conference title.
Well, it is. The difference between 4 games in 4 days or 3 games in 3 days is big, especially for WKU. They're depleted. Lots of players injured and watching from the sidelines.
WKU's destiny isn't just in their hands. We're going to be watching every game that unfolds in this big conference slate today.
It'll be a fun day.
Liberty is 10th in the country defensively this season, giving up just 62.5 points per game. MTSU got him into a shootout on Thursday. It didn't matter, as the Flames were still able to pick up a big win to stay in that hunt for the top overall spot in this conference. WKU won in Lynchburg to start their conference slate. Can they get a win and put a run at that bye in conference play as we get this underway?
These two teams have played 3 games, and the outcome has been decided by a total of 6 points. So I expect this to be close one way or the other today.
Colin Porter misfires on the 3 to start at the Kentucky native that went to Ashland Blazer, was a 3-time region champ there. Extremely efficient from deep and also a great facilitator. And Hal, we'll talk more about this as the broadcast goes on. That applies to most of this Liberty team as McHenry tries one from the left wing. Can't convert, but Blaze Queta gets the offensive rebound. That was the key swing number for WKU in that opening win.
It was, and Queta's become the best offensive rebounder that the WKU Hilltoppers have.
Here comes Braxton Bayless, and he puts the Hilltoppers on the board.
Bayless is a slasher, never shoots a shot squared up. He's always on the move, even on threes. He and McHenry both love to move during the shot.
He was in double figures for the 8th time in conference play with 10 points in WKU's win against FIU on Thursday, 76-67. Porter leaves it on the baseline. Nice extra pass, but then it's knocked away from Zach Cleveland. And here come the Hilltoppers the other way, a rare turnover for Liberty.
Rare turnover. Every player on their roster has a positive assist-to-turnover ratio. You just don't see that very often.
Bayless gives it off to Wu Marshall, one of those 13 seniors playing in his final game at WKU. Goes to Jackson on the wing, trying to go down low. A ton of contact down there, and finally they make the call as Aquino was all over Queta.
Queta is not a good post-up player. He'll get you some points around the basket. He's become a pretty good free throw shooter, but not skilled offensively. And Jackson making the pass from the wing is not a great three-point shooter. So that was a tough, kind of a tough 1-2 match there for the Hilltoppers.
To your point, Queta, just 2.5 points per game, and most of it comes around the rim where he's still just a 45% shooter. Bayless an open look off the inbound, misses short, and it's pulled down by Cleveland. Their do-it-all player averaging 10.5 points, 6.5 boards, and 5 assists per game. That's second in the conference, standing at 6'7". Right side 3, knocked down by Moffmer.
Moffmer only a 30% three-point shooter on the season, 25% in league play.
They shoot as a team up around 38%. That's second in the conference, making 10 per game. That leads Conference USA. McHenry drives in from the right side out to Jackson. Off a ball fake, flips it up over 2 defenders. Well defended, and it's pulled down off the miss by Aquino. The Spaniard gives it over on the right side to Porter. Back up top to Aquino. Trying to get it to Matheny off the bounce pass and finally does in the corner. Marshall on him.
The best player for Liberty that we focused on pre-game doesn't start, has not started a single league game this year, but he leads the team in scoring, 13.5, and that's Peter.
It's Matheny in that starting lineup that'll take the most shots, especially from outside. He's made 83 threes this season, 292 for his career between Bowling Green State and now Liberty. Missed the game winner, a good look to win it against WKU in Lynchburg. Bayless wraps around and a foul called up top, bump. As for a second time, they get Aquino for the foul, so he's got both for Liberty early on, and we'll have to check out early, which is an issue. That's one of the strengths for this Liberty team. We talk about how they don't foul very much at all, and because of that, they like to play their main guys. It's not a very deep team on the bench.
It is not. They've got 7 guys really that play the majority of the minutes, and Coach Richie May is going to roll the dice, it looks like, and leave him in there. Richie May in his 12th season just signed an extension that takes him through the 30-31 season at Liberty in the head position.
They have 3 players in the top 10 of the conference in minutes per game. They're the only team in the league that can say that. As McHenry misses, and now we see for the first time Talon Peter averaging 13.5 points per game. Whips it into the right corner, three-pointer misfired again by Matheny. The West Virginia native that leads them with just over 32 minutes per game, but they've got those 3 players right together between 31 and 32. Bayless left corner. Gets inside, stops on the elbow, takes an extra step, misses it off the side of the backboard, and really sloppy start both ways. Hal, you could say it's either a sloppy start or I'd say both coaches may argue well defended early on in this ball game, but not creating good looks. I would say the case.
Lean toward more of the sloppy that we saw right there. WKU has missed 5 of their first 6 shots.
Just 2 for 10 shooting overall to start this game. From the right elbow driving Cleveland, gives it out to Moffler for another 3. He's been the only offense for Liberty, and they lead it 6-2 as he buries another.
This is a 25% shooter in league play. He's shooting with lots of confidence and lots of success early on.
And he was great to start league play. Was in double figures 4 straight games, only 3 times since then. Had 10 points against WKU the first time around as McHenry denies a screen from Keita. Now gives it over to Marshall on the wing. Marshall's been playing extremely well as of late, and he's been aggressive from 3-point range in particular. He's thrown up 22 over the last 2 games. Jackson gets inside, acrobatic finish, and the lead is cut to 2.
Jackson, known for his tenacious defense, is a bit of a slasher offensively, and he shows the quickness there getting that one to the right side of the rim.
Had 4 points and 4 rebounds against Liberty. Up top, 3-pointer fired up and down from Peter. 3 threes for Liberty.
Peter, dangerous 3-point shooter, 45% in league play. Toppers need to play better defense on him if they hope to win this one today.
And that's a big key to beating Liberty, as you would expect. In their losses, their 3-point percentage dips by 6% from 38 to 32. They've been under 40 in all of their losses overall this season as Keita can't convert down low, and here comes Peter the other way.
Yeah, falling away baseline shot for Blaze Keita is not his strong point.
Cleveland, nice find on the baseline to Peter, who converts the and one. That's what Cleveland does. He is a maestro from up top. And all of a sudden, we talk about the offense. Liberty has found theirs. 5 minutes in exactly. It's the Flames who lead it 11-4 over WKU. The Hilltoppers just 2 for 8 from the floor early on. Liberty leading WKU early on 11-4 here inside Diddle Arena. Tyler Eaton joined by Hal Schmidt. As there you see 10th-year head coach Richie McKay, who even that is strange to say because he was at Liberty for a couple of years, goes away, has a really good run as associate head coach at Virginia, comes back here to the Flames, and Hal really has seen nothing but success since then.
His teams have been marked by strong discipline and unselfishness, and you certainly see that exhibited here from this Liberty Flames edition of 24-25. As they are carving up the Hilltoppers offensively, 4 assists on 4 made baskets, and they're denying the Hilltoppers their scoring looks.
And on the other side, Hake Plona for WKU in his first year with the Hilltoppers, trying to find answers right now as Peter stands at the line trying to convert on a 3-point play that he picked up just before the break. He doesn't usually get his 3 the old-fashioned way. He operates extremely well from outside, a 43% shooter from deep, but he's done both in this game. He and Hoffman with all 12 for Liberty, and the Flames lead it by 8. McHenry, right side, jabs, fires, and knocks down the tray.
McHenry has been very spotty shooting threes on the season. Only a 32% three-point shooter on the season, but he can get hot and get a bunch of points in a hurry.
He had 20 points against FIU on Thursday, 18 in the first half. Another great find from Cleveland, and that one's dropped in underneath again. A wide open layup, this time Matheny, the beneficiary.
Off a backdoor cut. The Hilltoppers have not been the best at guarding backdoor cuts this season.
Jackson takes a bump, throws up a shot. We'll see if they give the shot attempt. They do, so it'll be 2 free throws for Jalen Jackson, who felt the contact coming from Peter. Already 3 fouls for Liberty, and a smart play there by Jackson.
Yeah, he felt the contact and knew he had to get the ball up. Only a 68% free throw shooter on the season. He's improved to that level. He really struggled early on, but as the season has worn on, he's become a little more proficient in making from the charity stripe.
Started at North Texas, went to Texas A&M Corpus Christi, was a key part of the tournament championship team led by Steve Lutz. Comes here to WKU with him. Now stays under Coach Plona.
Yeah, Steve Lutz didn't unpack his suitcases, was here a grand total of 1 year, won the league last year, and then gets a job at Oklahoma State. I wish him the best there. He's a really fine coach and a nice guy to boot.
And did a lot for the culture.
He certainly did.
Of this program, and it was very much a hire of Plona to keep that same thing going as Lander deflects a pass, gets the steal, and WKU can piece together a little bit of a run here. Lander driving inside. Can't get it to go against the contest there at the rim. Good job of defending without fouling by Moffman.
Yeah, forced the shot, but wasted an opportunity off of the steal.
And then Cleveland converts through contact on the other end. That's his game. A 47% shooter from the floor. Does not like to shoot from outside. He wants to get to the rim and finish. McHenry the other way, wild shot. That misses badly. And here comes Liberty. Matheny to Moffmer. Takes a couple dribbles. Now gives it out to Cleveland, directing traffic. Now Moffmer one-on-one with McHenry.
You see, going from the WKU offense of playing with your hair on fire to a very deliberate half-court offense by Richie McKay's Liberty Flames team.
They wanted another one of those backdoor cuts, but there to break it up was Enoch Kalambe, returned after missing the last 3 games against FIU on Thursday. Only played 6 minutes in that game for the Hilltoppers. If you remove that game of the Sam Houston game when he was injured from the equation, he's averaging over 11 points per game in conference play for WKU. We'll see how much run he gets in this game here today. Cleveland gets the inbound on the right wing, now looks to go to work. Kicks it out, Matheny, wide open for 3. Rattles it off. He's had a couple rare misses when you give him that much space.
38% from 3 on the season. Can't assume anything and give him that much room.
McHenry guarded up top by Porter. To Kalambe, drives into Cleveland, cut off, now back outside McHenry. Nice ball fake, inside the runner. Left short, fighting for the rebound is ODI, but they're with another one. Cleveland is just cleaning the glass early on.
Yeah, the Tops could hope for a stop here. Flames have hit 5, now 6 of their last 6 shots. Hank Polona needs a timeout. He's getting some guys to the scorer's table.
18-8, Liberty leads it. They've been getting, since that slow start, virtually everything that they've wanted offensively. Now on a 6-1 run overall, as you mentioned, they made 6 of their last 7 shots. And Cleveland's one of those guys. He really functions, and it's a comparison that's hard to make because how things have unfolded recently. But if you think of when he was in college and just came into the NBA, Ben Simmons just wants to get downhill, great rebounder, can run your offense through him. That's basically what they've got here in Zach Cleveland, and we've seen all parts of that so far in this game.
Yeah, he's just an all-around player. Averages almost 11 points, nearly 7 rebounds, has 136 assists and 68 turnovers. So he's about a 2-to-1 margin on assists to turnovers on the season as well. Really complete player.
He's only had 1 double-double on the season, which is hard to believe as you continue to see the contact finishes. Just gets momentum. He's unafraid to get to the rim, and he's got good burst off that first dribble. He's had 11 games this year with at least 5 rebounds and 5 assists. As we get back underway, WKU down by 10 and trying to find answers with McHenry up top. Drives into Porter, posting him up down low, trying to use the size advantage, able to convert, and the foul against the 5'10" Colin Porter.
Toppers searching for answers, found one there. Prayer was answered, now 4 of 13 from the field. They'll go back to the free throw line Don McHenry, this is what he does. He works, he slices, he's a left-handed player. That time he turned into the defense, but the defense not able to stop him right in front of the rim. Don's a really good player, sometimes streaky.
And we could talk all day long about Liberty's efficiency as a team. They're 20th in the country in raw field goal percentage, 4th when you make that effective field goal percentage that factors into three-pointers. But WKU, as you mentioned, how just 4 for 13 from the floor. They've got to get to at least 40%. They're 15-2 this year when they get over that number. And that's really been the key so many games of just whether or not they're making shots or not.
Liberty will want to hold them to under 70. They're 22-0 when they do that.
And WKU just got over that mark in their win in Lynchburg. His left side three-pointer buried by Xander Yates, the Creighton transfer. Liberty now 4 for 8 from three-point range.
Yates a 43% shooter. Got to get a hand up on these shooters.
We had a foul called on the baseline that'll take us to another break. It's strange to say Liberty shooting 4 for 8 from 3 when Matheny's 0 for 3, but the rest of the team has picked up the slack.
Exactly.
Liberty up 21-10 over WKU. Just under 12 minutes to go in the opening half. The Flames top 25 in the country and three-pointers made per game at 10.2 on the season. How they've already made 4 here today on just 8 tries.
Yeah, they've been very efficient in their half court. They're getting what they want. They're being patient, which is the key thing. It's making that extra pass, get the good open look. Hilltoppers, meantime, 1 of 3, and that's the same at the free throw line as from the three-point line.
WKU with just 10 points so far. After they came out, they blitzed FIU to a 16-4 lead to start that game on Thursday. Then by the time we got to halftime, it was a one-possession game. Hilltoppers have looked much more like they did in the second half of that first half. Here in the opening 20 minutes, Coach Plona hoping that perhaps it'll be a reverse of that script. As down on the block, stuck with it is Gabriel McKay, son of the head coach, Richie. Down low, layup misses. Good contest from behind by Bayless. Really, Matheny's been the only one who hasn't been able to get going for Liberty.
Yeah, Matheny, nice backdoor cut. Couldn't finish the play, but not because he didn't try.
Lander right side, gives it to Colombe. On the block against McKay. Contact and a blocking foul called. That has really been the only thing for Liberty that hasn't gone according to all of the numbers that you see. They're one of the best teams in the country at not fouling, and they've already racked up 6 in this game.
Yeah, they a very uncharacteristic number at this point. Give it time. McKay, coach's son, gets good playing time. He doesn't contribute a lot on scoring, but he's a good hard-nosed, as you would expect. Coach's son's good hard-nosed player.
And it's a family affair. His brother Luke is the video coordinator for the Flames as Marshall came up with it. Now outside, clean look for McHenry for 3, missed it long, and rebound is pulled down by Mothmer.
Tops with an offensive rebound. They went the other night 33 missed shots before they got an offensive rebound in that game, so that's not been a strong point down the stretch here for them.
They're one of the best defensive rebounding teams in the country, and they're one of the worst offensive rebounding teams in Conference USA. Cleveland flips it up. That one misses against Cada, but Liberty gets an offensive rebound of their own, just as rare for the Flames. Beautiful touch pass to Mothmer. One more, Peter. Bang.
Wow. No matter what color you're cheering for today, that was a beautiful basketball play right there. Unselfish passing by the Flames resulting in an open look and a made basket from the corner.
It's pretty easy to see why they're top 30 in the country in assists per game. Lander to McHenry. WKU down now 14. Don McHenry inside, flips it up with the left hand, can't convert, it's tipped down, it'll stay with WKU, but right now how the Hilltoppers, unlike Liberty, who every shot has virtually been completely uncontested, they cannot find any ounce of space for these shot attempts.
They really can't. I mean, no assist at this point. You can see that all of their shots are being created by one-on-one plays off the dribble.
Colombe can't get it to go. That a good look off the inbound. And bringing it across half court is Peter to the left wing.
Of course, it helps to get assists if you can make some baskets. The Toppers now 4 of 18.
And Liberty's assisted on 8 of their 9 baskets. Cleveland, showtime to Porter. Kick out right wing, extra pass. Mothmer for 3. They can do no wrong right now.
Hank Plona has to call another timeout. They are in a deep hole right now, and they've lost their shovels. It's 27-10, and the Hilltoppers looking for some answers defensively.
On the Flames, lighting Diddle Arena on fire. And here's the thing, Hal, they're clearly feeling it right now. They know how well they're playing.
Well, they know that their teammates are spotted up around the perimeter. They know where the open players are. So if they get pressure from 2 players or more, they know somebody's open. They know where to find them. This is a team that has played well together and only getting better as the season marches on.
Defensively, we mentioned earlier how much they suffocate teams from a scoring standpoint at 62.5 points per game. They only allow teams to shoot 40%. That's 18th in the country. In conference play, the only team that's been better defensively was New Mexico State. And that's what made it so strange that WKU came out and poured in 101 points against that New Mexico State team. That's the highest score that any team in Conference USA has scored in a league game, and yet New Mexico State still the best team defensively in the league. A, it just speaks to how good they've been defensively, but B, and how we've been around this team to know it. Offensively with WKU, it can change in a matter of seconds. You really never know what you're going to get until you see it play out on the floor. Well,
the Hilltoppers they were in a big hole at the first half at the Liberty game and came back to win that, so they can score points in a hurry, but they're going to have to start finding some range.
Peter can't convert on the 3 after the Marshall miss, and here comes Kalambe the other way. To your point, WKU down 35-21 at halftime of that game is Bayless. I think that right there just sums up how the game has gone for WKU so far. That time a perfect move, but ball just hung up on the side of the rim.
Yeah, now over 3 minutes, scoring drought for Western Kentucky University.
Peter, corner 3, that miss is short. Liberty now is at least cooled down to 50% again from three-point range at 6 for 12. As Marshall holds up top, and we get an illegal screen called against Braxton Bayless.
Well, it's the first WKU turnover. So turnovers are not always necessarily the story. You can see there on the replay, Bayless leaned into the defender Matheny, whistled for the foul. When you look at this Liberty team, Tyler, of 12 statistical categories in Conference USA, Liberty is number 1 in 10 of them.
Wow.
Number 2 in the other 2. That's everything from scoring offense, defense, holding teams to low percentages shooting, things of that nature. So they're a very, very good team.
Right side 3 fired up. That one's buried fresh in the ball game is Brett Decker, another Kentucky native. They've got 3 of them on this roster. And all of a sudden, 30-10 Liberty leading WKU.
Yeah, Decker only a 43% shooter on the season, but 12% in league play.
Shot denied underneath, and here comes Matheny against Jackson. Spins off, now brings it back up top to the general, Zach Cleveland. Looking for an option, pass deflected, and it's going to go out of bounds. And last touch, Liberty did get a hand on it, so WKU, they've got the turnover edge, albeit just 3-1. And the Hilltoppers, they're doing what they want to do in theory. They want to get up shots. They play at the 12th fastest pace in the country, 75 possessions a game. They've already taken 22 shots. The issue, how they've only made 4.
Got to make them.
Jackson on the left side, surveying.
Pretty easy when you break it down like that, Tyler.
Left corner, Lander for 3. Swishes it home. That perhaps the cleanest look they've had from outside in this game.
That ends a 12-0 run over the last 4 minutes by Liberty. Toppers have now hit 1 of their last 10 shots.
Ball on the right side. Quickly it's worked to Matheny for 3. Can't dial it in. Cleveland's tip no good. And Jackson wants to operate quickly for the Hilltoppers. Hesitation dribble. Kick out. Marshall thought about the 3. Now dribbles around to the elbow. Surprised he didn't take it with how much he's pulled the trigger the last 2 games.
Celebrated a birthday on Thursday when the Hilltoppers were playing here in Diddle Arena.
Lander can't get it to go, down and out. And now Liberty wants to slow this game back down to their tempo. I mentioned WKU 12th nationally in pace. Liberty is 278.
Yeah, they like to grind it out a little more. Again, they're very patient. They like to spread the offense, create drive opportunities and cutting opportunities, and they're very good at backdoor cuts.
Matheny has not been shy from deep, but 0 for 4 so far from outside. To the corner, Decker, 5 seconds on the shot clock, gets inside against Lander, and a tough scoop finish falls.
Decker has reached his season average of 3.7 here in the first couple minutes of his entry into the game.
Jackson works his way inside. His follow-away jumper, no. Rebound tipped out. Moffmer trying to save it in the corner, does so to Cleveland. Gets it right back running down the left side. beautiful baseline find, and Matheny finishes on the reverse. And again, a timeout has to be taken. Whatever Liberty wants, they're getting it right now, and they've got a 34-13 lead.
I think Polona's going to burn his allotment of timeouts in the first half.
Liberty shooting nearly 60% from the floor, 50% from three. They've made 13 shots with 11 assists and a 21-point lead. Liberty leading WKU. Coach Richie McKay has to be over the moon with a start for his Flames, who are moving the ball all over the floor and more often than not getting baskets with these backdoor cuts.
They're just so crafty. I mean, the backdoor cut is one of the most fundamental plays in basketball, and Liberty is using it to their advantage right now. That's been only a part of their 34-point barrage over the Hilltoppers.
Can WKU find a response? Here comes McHenry, just 2 for 9 from the floor early on, and there, a miscommunication as it's fired out of bounds in the corner. Just the second turnover for the Hilltoppers, but just with that, we've talked a lot about assist-to-turnover ratio. With just 2 turnovers, WKU now negative in that department with just the 1 assist on their 5 baskets.
They're not making a lot of mistakes handling the ball, but they're just not doing a lot of things right when they do have the ball. They've gone to a 2-3 zone for the first time tonight, and very few times have they done that this season.
Yates' three-pointer misses, and WKU there created a rare shot off the dribble, but couldn't get the defensive rebound. Peter in the corner, that one's short. Batted out, and it goes to Bayless. Here comes McHenry down the right side. Averaging around 17 points per game. He's top 10 in the conference at 6th in scoring. Out to Lander. ODI sets a screen. McHenry right wing. Step back, kick out. Kalambe goes to work against Peter, running across the lane. Left-handed shot won't go, and Peter gets the rebound as well.
Hilltoppers managed 1 of their last 13 shots.
And a foul called away from the ball as officials discussing for a moment if they're going to look any further into this. And I think there may be reason to.
Yeah, frustration foul, I don't know. They're going to take a look and see if they need to upgrade it to anything else. I didn't see any contact above the shoulder. It was a frustration shove trying to get through a screen by Braxton Bayless. I don't think it's going to be upgraded, but I don't get a vote. We'll see what happens here after the officials huddle and come to a conclusion over there.
Yeah, it was just, like you said, I think purely out of frustration there from Bayless. And, I mean, it's been one of those days for WKU. They know the stakes of this game. Senior Day, we mentioned earlier, 13 seniors rapid fire were celebrated before this game got underway. You're coming off of a really good win against FIU in which you were tested, trailed early on in the second half of that ball game, but rallied back and found a way to close out a pretty comfortable win against the Panthers. And with as well as WKU has started to play here of late, winning 3 of their last 4, certainly expected better of themselves to start this game, but Liberty, Hal, has clearly come out on a mission to do what they did pretty regularly. And when I say pretty regularly, I mean every single year that they were in the A-Sun before they got here to Conference USA, and that is trying to lock up a regular season conference crown.
They're coming off an 18-14 season last year, 7-9 in league play, and they were picked 5, tied with UTEP, preseason number 5 pick in Conference USA. They're obviously playing a lot better than that this year. We're informed that it was just, will stay a common foul and not be upgraded. But this Liberty team, you know, they only score 76 a game, which is pretty high octane, mainly because they shoot a high percentage, not because they're fast-paced. Their average margin of victory in their 24 wins is nearly 18 points. So they have taken a lot of teams to the woodshed, like they're doing to WKU here this afternoon.
Three-pointer misfired by Porter, but again an offensive rebound for Liberty. Porter, one more into the corner. Yates for 3. They've started to lose the mark from three-point range, now just 7 for 18 after a 6 for 10 start. McHenry on the left wing. WKU just needs to find points anywhere. They came out and shot the lights out in the first half against FIU before going cold, as Edlin can't get it to go on the spin shot. Tip doesn't go, and ODI and Edlin there, Hal, tipped it away from each other.
Well, this could go into the record category. The Toppers are now 1 for their last 16 shots.
Edlin had a steal, then threw it off the body of Dorsey, and it's finally picked up by Moffmer. 5 for 27 overall from the floor, 18.5% so far for the Hilltoppers. Moffmer into the corner, another clean look. Peters fouled, hits, and one. A chance for the 4-point play.
Continues to add to the run, 19-3 right now. Liberty outscoring Western Kentucky University. A chance to make that 20 with a made free throw. We'll see what happens, but Toppers just cannot seem to get anything going on either end of the court right now.
Peters already got 12 points. That's his third triple of the ball game. We said coming in, it's not just that he's played well in Conference USA. He's coming off an excellent game against MTSU, tied his career high with 33 points. And one thing that stood out to me when I was getting ready for this game, in road games, he has been a killer in conference play. He's averaging 16 points per game overall in the conference slate, which is already 6th in the league. In road conference games, he's averaging 22 points per game and shooting it at nearly 50% from three.
He's just a fun player to watch. He doesn't get rushed. He doesn't get rattled. He just takes good shots and hits a high percentage of them.
Keita on the block, spins back to his right, left it short, and WKU's dry spell continues, but it's been 4 minutes without a point. Aquino flips it out to Porter, guarded by Lander. Now up top, Cleveland. Drives against McHenry, kick out. Porter, one more, Moffmer for three. Hits it over to contests. Moffmer is 4 for 4 from 3-point range.
Coming in shooting 30%.
Lander's three doesn't hit. Keita fighting for the board, able to tip it to Marshall, and finally the Hilltoppers break through with a bucket.
That ends a 23-3 run. Marshall had just been throwing haymakers, and the Hilltoppers were forced to take a standing 8 count before making that one.
41-15 now the score. Moffmer went just 3 for 12 from the floor against WKU the first time around. He gets the baseline. One more. Matheny drives in from the left wing, spins against Edlin, now pulls it out to the corner. 5 on the shot clock. Flips it to Cleveland, tries to go right back to Matheny, and it hits the leg of Edlin defending. And Liberty will have a baseline inbound with 2 seconds left on the shot clock when we come back. Just 2:50 left in the opening half. Liberty continuing to extend their lead over WKU. 41-15 their edge over the Hilltoppers. 41-15, Liberty playing spoiler here against WKU, not just with all the conference standing and seeding potential on the line, but the Hilltoppers were celebrating 13 seniors, the second most experienced team in the country behind Louisville just up the road. All that experience and how so many different players from different spots, different stories. You could take up an entire broadcast just running through all of them. With all the adversity WKU has faced this season, miraculous that they're even in a spot to be competing for a bye in the conference tournament here today.
That's very true. And you look at those 13 players, and like you said, from different places, different things that they bring to the game. Only 2 of them have exhausted their eligibility. Yeah. So you could see as many as 11 of those players back.
Peter off the inbound, can't convert. Liberty only had 2 seconds to work with there. Got as good of a look as you can, but a rare misfire from Talon Peter. Left side, WKU starting to potentially dial in it a bit offensively, and if they're going to, at this point, it feels like how it's going to have to be Don McHenry.
Well, he's always been the go-to guy this season, but Christian Lander, whom we focused on at the beginning, is capable of running up a lot of points in a hurry as well. He's not on the floor at the moment, though.
He hit a 3 earlier, but just 1 for 6 from the floor. Another second chance for Liberty. Matheny wide open. Took it from a couple feet off the line and left it short there. Rebound being fought for, unable to convert on 3 tries was Moffmer, and WKU operates on the break. McHenry up top, fakes the 3, tries to go to Colombe, and it's stolen away by Talon Peter. For all he does offensively, he's a great defender as well. He's averaging 2 steals per game over his last 4. As now Cleveland slows it down up top.
Liberty has 6 offensive rebounds, which has hurt the Hilltoppers as well.
Cleveland gets into the body of Keita. The foul eventually called. He grabbed him as soon as he got in the paint. They didn't call it as first. Cleveland gets all the way in, scores, then they call the bump. He benefits with the and one chance. Just a strong physical player, and how he really knows his way around the basket.
And Blaze Cada for WKU, not blessed with healthy knees. He didn't play a lot of games early in the season because of that. And his movement, his explosive jumping ability is no longer there. And he just is very, very hampered on what he can do physically.
You mentioned the offensive rebounds in this game for Liberty. They come into this game last in Conference USA in offensive rebounds per game at 5.
Well, to me, rebounding in general, and especially offensive and defense, are states of mind.
Yeah.
They're more about attitude rather than aptitude. And hard-nosed teams that can do those things well are going to win a lot of games. Whether they're capable, whether they're really good players or not, irrelevant. If you can do those two things, you can win games.
They're now up 10 overall on the boards. Peter by himself has 8 rebounds already in this game. As pushed from behind on the drive is Porter. And the other thing that we mentioned earlier is we see the foul committed to put Liberty in the bonus for the final 1:15 of this first half. WKU was in the bonus very early in this first half and just have not been able to take advantage. Liberty, the discipline kicked in pretty quickly after that uncharacteristic start.
Again, 2 assists for Western Kentucky on 2 assists on 7 made baskets. Most of their plays, most of their shots are coming off of self-generated opportunities.
Left corner 3 for Decker, left short, rebounded by McHenry. Decker already 5 points in this game as Conference USA high coming in with 6. Lander to the elbow, kick out McHenry, hesitates, fires, hit, makes, and 1.
Henry's done a good job. McHenry's done a good job of drawing the foul on the 3-point opportunity. Some coaches have raised some questions about his kicking his feet out. We'll take a look here on the replay to see if he does it here. But sometimes he did not there, but sometimes he will kick that foot out trying to draw the foul, which is a no-no.
McHenry has 11 of the 21 for WKU in this first half, make it 12 of 22. He's 4 for 12 from the floor. The rest of the team 4 for 21.
And this is a much different game than what we saw in Lynchburg earlier in the season. 35-21 was that halftime score, with Liberty leading that.
Cleveland has it knocked away but gets it back. Now outside to Peter. Reset up top with Porter. He pulls over McHenry, gave him space, and he takes advantage. For all we can talk about Peter and Matheny, Porter, a 44% three-point shooter.
If I'm guarding a very short three-point shooter, I'm going to get on him. I'm going to smell his breath and not give him the shot. I'm going to challenge him to go around me and score and hope my teammates, taller teammates, are there to block him out.
Jackson inside against Matheny. Had a clean look, missed it, but gets a second chance to McHenry. It's blocked. The three-pointer blocked by Moffmer. In transition, scores with the left hand. Colombe a half-court heave before the horn on target, but just misses. And Liberty puts up 49 in the opening half. WKU, I think more so the story, held to 22 points on 8 for 35 shooting. Their field goal percentage almost matches the score at just 23% from the field so far in this game, Hal.
Yeah, they just struggled offensively, couldn't get anything going, and it's harder when you're getting beat up on the other end of the court as well.
So much going on in Conference USA. We'll survey the league during halftime. WKU trailing by 27. Nearing the second half of play between Liberty and WKU. Tyler Eaton and Hal Schmidt with you courtside on historic John Oldham Court inside EA Diddle Arena, where, Hal, that first half, all Liberty from all parts of the floor. They dial it in. We talked about the three-pointers in the last segment, and the main man from out there, what a surprise. Javon Moffmer going 4 for 4 from three-point range in the first half of this game.
25% shooter in league play, only 30% for the entire season, made 35 threes. He's capable, but he certainly buried a bunch here this evening to start it off.
And in the first half alone, he's got his first double-double of the season with 10 rebounds to go along with his team high 14 points. And then our key player coming into this one, Talon Peter, he's just short of a double-double already. He's got 13 points and 8 rebounds in that opening half. He's been getting better and better in the rebound department as this year has gone on, and really you can say that about his entire game, how just such an efficient player.
He is. Moffmer, a bit of a surprise in his output. Not so much for Peter. He doesn't start, as we mentioned, but he plays starter minutes, and he's been very good. For WKU, it's been all Don McHenry. He leads the Hilltoppers with 12 points. Only 4 other Hilltoppers have scored, and nobody has more than 3 points of those other 4 players. Very uncharacteristic. They usually have a pretty balanced attack, and on the season, they've got 5 players that score in double figures.
Well, and for WKU, if you go back to Thursday, it was the McHenry show in the first half, had 20 points, 18 in those first 20 minutes, and then out of the halftime break, it was Christian Lander who took over for the Hilltoppers. We'll see if McHenry passes the baton or if we're in for more of the same. For Liberty, you most certainly hope that everything remains the same from that first half.
Absolutely. And you look at the efficiency of the 2 players, the comparison, both of them with 4 field goals. Peter's done it shooting 50%, 4 of 8. McHenry's had to work for his 4 of 13. Some of them hurried, some of them not very good shots, but he has led the charge for the Hilltoppers. And were it not for his 12 points, I'm not sure how bad this score would look at this point.
Lander just 1 for 6 from the floor. Tyrone Wu Marshall, who's been playing so well as of late in double figures in 6 of his last 7 games. He's just 1 for 3 from the floor, and I'm very surprised. I've mentioned this a couple of times. The last 2 games, he had taken 22 three-pointers. He has not attempted one so far in this game, and the Hilltoppers weren't great from 3 against Liberty the first time around. Went just 5 for 17 in that win. It was really inside the three-point arc where they thrived, but they haven't been able to generate those same looks tonight. It's worth noting, Hal, that they're without their leading scorer from that game in Julius Thedford, who had 18 points. The freshman was also their leading scorer against FIU in the game after that. He's out with injury, and obviously much earlier in the season, Babacar Faye, WKU has been without him in all of conference play, and his 15.5 points per game. Need to find answers from somewhere, and you've got to do it quickly to start the second half.
Yeah, Thedford was a very promising freshman out of Memphis. Had a dislocated kneecap, very strange injury in the Middle Tennessee game earlier in the conference season, and they've certainly missed his contribution, as well as Faye, you mentioned.
Marshall out to Jackson. He fires up a 3, and Jalen Jackson knocks down a triple from the top of the key. Of all the places you thought you might find it for WKU, Jackson near the bottom of that list from outside.
Yeah, 16% on the season. Only made 3 in 19 attempts before that one.
He said, let me bump that percentage up 4%. I just know that from the quick math because he's now 4 for 20 from outside. And the lead for Liberty is 49-25. WKU now 4 for 13 from three-point range. They're shooting it at 31% from 3. That's 8 points better than their overall field goal percentage. Another backdoor cut. Cleveland can't convert, but a strong rebound down there by Marshall, who's bumped after the fact.
Yeah, Marshall in traffic pulls down a rebound and bumped off the traffic and out of bounds. So first foul on Marshall with 1 minute to go, or 1 minute gone in this second half. Toppers bring it the length.
And not to mention on the other side, Liberty, and they've made it look like you wouldn't notice it. Isaiah Enan was a key player for them earlier this season. Played the first 11 games, averaged 10 points, 4.5 rebounds per game. The German had played 5 years at Minnesota, missed 2 years with injury there, came back, had a great start to his season, and that's part of why we talked about earlier how they run such a limited rotation. Lost one of their key pieces as well very early in the season. 5 seconds on the shot clock, and Bayless throws it away. Picked up by Aquino, up ahead, layup good, and who else but Javon Moffmer to start the second half for the Flames.
Yeah, pretty casual pass from Bayless at the other end leads to a run-out play the other way. They can ill afford to give up easy baskets on mental mistakes.
Right side, Marshall now to Bayless at the top of the key, defended by Colin Porter. Down low, McHenry contested finish goes.
On the move, underhanded scoop shot for McHenry.
Well, if he can get to his left, he's always got a chance.
Strong hand.
51-27, WKU trailing it by 24. Cleveland down low. Aquino with Keita all over him, misses the layup strong. Bayless brings it up to the left wing, wraps around Aquino, looks down low, now gives to Jackson. Hilltoppers have made both their shots to start the second half. Bayless stuck, kicks it out McHenry, but before he can, this is what we saw in the first half. Liberty picking up fouls at least early on in the half that really, and I know that Coach McKay would echo this, unnecessary fouls, the key thing that the Flames have picked up early on in these halves.
Yeah, uncharacteristic for them. They're number 1 in the Conference USA, number 5 in the country in fewest fouls per game at 13.1.
Queta gets the inbound hands to Lander. Now to Bayless, back to Lander. Off to Jackson. Ball moving much better in this second half as they get Marshall isolated on Cleveland. He fades with one hand and scores. They made their first 3 shots of the half.
But you can see the shots, again, are coming off of individual efforts. Nothing in the flow of the offense. Their offense has been very stagnant. It's all coming off of dribble, ball screens, and creating something off the drive.
WKU only scored 21 points in the first half in Lynchburg. They put up 50 in the second half of that game to get a 71-70 win. Moffmer on the elbow, spins against Queta, no-look pass. Aquino, one more, 3 from Matheny. Rattles off and Marshall gets the board.
Heartbreak for Matheny, that looked down.
Lander thought he was going to pull the trigger. Instead, a rare right side drive for him and it misses long. Here comes Matheny the other way, beats Bayless all the way to the rim, wraps it at the last moment. Cleveland through contact, no, but 2 free throws upcoming.
Well, good forcing the action by the Flames. They got it out in a hurry. A nice little drop-off pass. Looked like it might end up to be an assist. As it turns out, it was not. Fouled on the play. Cleveland will go to the free throw line and try to pick up a couple here.
They don't get out and run extremely often, but as we saw there, again, we talk about this, well-disciplined team that knows when to pick their spots and try to force that issue is Cleveland, who is not a great free throw shooter, 53% at the stripe, misses the first of these 2.
Liberty not, as you mentioned, not a great fast break team, scoring in transition, but they defended very well. Toppers usually score a lot in transition, have been limited to 0.
Here comes Jackson inside, right-handed layup good.
Got around the taller defender, Peter. Got that one into some open space underneath the basket.
Jalen Jackson with 8 points for WKU. Porter for 3, and there's the answer for Liberty to quiet the Diddle Arena crowd, if for just a moment. Porter now 2 for 4 from outside. He's got 6 points, 3 assists. Lander stuck at the elbow, fires it up anyway. That misses short, rebound tipped out, and Bayless will chase it down in the backcourt off the Liberty tip.
Get a new 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Lander wraps around inside all the way to the rack and foul.
Well, it looks like Western Kentucky University is making a concerted effort to get the ball to the paint, and it's coming off of some screens.
They went 4 for 13 from 3 in the first half. They've taken 6 total shots here in the second half, just 1 of them from outside, trying to chip away at this big Liberty lead. The Flames up 54-31. 54-31, Liberty leading it over WKU here inside Diddle Arena. All the seniors being celebrated. Fans of all age packed inside Diddle, as this is a team, Hal, that has historically been extremely good in this arena. And it's the word that always gets thrown into this arena in the first place is historic. EA Diddle Arena, they're 13-4 at home this season and 5-3 in conference play, but as I mentioned earlier, Liberty, it just hasn't mattered to them. They've been better on the road than at home in the conference slate, 6-2 playing away from Lynchburg.
Yeah, they've been real solid. And WKU, Diddle Arena, generally a hard place to play. Pretty good crowd in here this afternoon. Honor seniors on senior day, but they have been AWOL because there's not been a whole lot for them to cheer about. So it can get loud if the Hilltoppers will get to the point to make this interesting. But until then, we'll have to wait and see.
Lander, the former high school All-American, transferring in from Indiana, trying to get things going on his senior day. Missed the free throw, trying to save it on the sideline. Couldn't do so. He's now got 4 points on just 1 for 8 shooting in this ball game after having not just a good offensive game against FIU, but an efficient one with those 18 second half points. Went 3 for 6 from three-point range in that game. Had suffered an injury, came back in the first 2 back, extremely inefficient, but seemed to have righted the ship against FIU, but hasn't been able to dial it in here today.
Yeah, he was good. I mean, 1 point in the first half against FIU, followed by 18 in the second. We mentioned that he's a very good and spurty player, and he showed that spurtability there. But then Hilltoppers break down on another backdoor cut. Peter finishes with a dunk for Liberty.
He's up to 15 points in 16 minutes. That's what he does, and 2 rebounds shy of a double-double as well. Lander left side against Porter. Kicks it out Marshall to Jackson in the corner to Lander. Open for 3 off the screen. Can't connect. Skying into trying to get the rebound is Kalambe, but he stepped on the baseline. And so now we see a smaller lineup for WKU. Most of the times you'll see them function with one of those big men on the floor, Keita or Odiai, but right now Marshall and Kalambe technically functioning as the 2 bigs, and most notably without McHenry out there for the Hilltoppers offensively.
Trying to gain a little speed with the bigs on the bench. Trying to get something in transition, maybe those easy buckets before the defense has a chance to set up.
Down low, Moffmer going to work against Jackson, who reaches around trying to take it away. That's what he's known for, is his defense. Averages 1.2 steals per game.
He's got eight points here this afternoon, which is uncharacteristic, but he is tougher than a $2 steak. He will fight the biggest and the strongest on the floor, try to get that ball back.
To your point, he averages on the season just 3 points per game. His season high is only 10. He'll have a chance to put a run at that, as the Hilltoppers want to try to put a run at this game, trailing at 56-32. They've outscored Liberty by 3 in the second half, but need to ramp up the pressure on both ends of the floor. Peter goes down low. Aquino against Lander. Drives to the middle lane. Kick out. Peter fakes the 3 with 4 on the shot clock. Back to Aquino. Step back to Peter. Can't get it off before the horn. That's really the first time we've seen, I think, all day how for Liberty the ball gets stuck with no real motion from the players off the ball.
And WKU coach, any coach will take credit for the defense on that, and I think the Hilltoppers did turn up the heat just a little bit defensively, didn't give up anything easy.
This time Lander gets left and scores. That's how he'll get going.
Soft little touch off the glass, very kind rim roll for him.
As WKU now amplifies that pressure to full court, Kalambe knocks it away.
Nice.
Bayless touch pass. Kalambe has it blocked from behind. Aquino recovers. Up ahead to Cleveland, contested catch in the corner, double teamed, kick out. Matheny drives all the way to the rack to Peter in the corner, but Bayless swats it into the baseline.
This is how the Hilltoppers will get in it, if they can scramble it up a little bit and cause a little chaos defensively for Liberty. Saw that play where Kalambe knocked it away, but just not strong enough to go. He does not have explosive leaping ability either, just not explosive to go up and finish that with a dunk.
And a good recovery by Aquino, who has multiple blocks 9 times this season, had 2 in the win against MTSU. Left side 3, my goodness, again it's Moffmer.
5 of 5 from long range for that young man. He's having a career day.
Moffmer up to 19 points with 11 rebounds, 4 assists, and a block as well. He's done a bit of everything. Marshall, kick out, Jackson for 3. Can't convert, tipped. Bayless tried a mid-air putback. It was knocked away, and up with it is Talon Peter. He goes all the way to the rack, scores with the bump, and 1. Just like that, Liberty has fully recovered their 27-point halftime lead.
Well, Peter got the poke away, if I'm not mistaken, in that scrum for the offensive rebound. It looked like it was going to be a weak side putback for WKU, but Peter knocked it away, then gathered the ball up and took it length of the court for the harm and the foul.
He's such an effective driver. Again, we can talk all we want about his three-point shooting, but he shoots 57% from the floor, can be elite at getting to the free throw line, went 8 for 8 to go along with those 33 points against MTSU, and that's how you know the efficiency. When you score 33 points, Holland, it only takes you 14 shots.
Well, you generally don't see a 6'4" player shooting 57%. If you look at a team shooting percentage and individual shooting that high, it's usually the 7-footer that's around the rim only scoring at the basket. But he is a very skilled player and very efficient.
Edelin hits a cutting Lander. Another strong finish with that left hand. And it's 62-36. WKU 6 for 11 from the field in this second half. But they've got to find a way to disrupt Liberty. They're shooting 63%, albeit on just 8 tries, 5 for 8. Aquino gets inside, double team comes, tie up called, Arrow keeps it with the Flames.
There was none of that in the first half. WKU defense was very soft and let Liberty do about what they wanted it to do. That's the first time they've collapsed on a ball, double, triple team it, and resulted in a tie ball. They didn't get possession, but I've seen a little life in their defense this half.
Well, and that's where the life for the offense comes from. It's got to start on the defensive end, as it has all season long for the Hilltoppers.
No question. More times than not, it will result in an easy play the other way, an easy score. But it certainly does a lot to lift your spirits if you're creating things off of the defensive end.
Aquino had it knocked away from behind by Dorsey in for the Hilltoppers, who couldn't control it, making his 18th appearance of the season from Berea, Kentucky. Started a game earlier this year against Sam Houston.
Again, that's by virtue of the Hilltoppers' depleted staff. As Jalen Dorsey, as a walk-on, has really been called into duty quite a lot this season.
Talon Peter, a contested three, had a bid there for a 4-point play. No call. He doesn't care. Peter all of a sudden up to 21 points. Here comes Lander the other way against Peter. Once more, Hal. When he gets to that left hand, he can score with the best of them.
Left-handed player, obviously that's the direction he likes to go, and he's got fantastic for a small guard, excuse me, has fantastic leaping ability.
Into double figures now with 10 to join McHenry in that department for WKU. Aquino gets inside to Porter. Peter, top of the key, three ball. Rattles off ODI with the board, and he's fouled from behind by Aquino.
Aquino made a swipe at that offensive rebound, but got a lot of meat, so that'll go back to WKU after the timeout.
The Hilltoppers have heated up offensively. The problem, Liberty has matched them tit for tat. 16 points for both teams. It's still a 27-point edge for Liberty. 65-38 Liberty maintaining that halftime lead over WKU inside Diddle Arena. Tyler Eaton joined by Hal Schmidt. And Hal, it was all Don McHenry in the first half for WKU offensively, but the help has started to come in from Christian Lander.
Yeah, Lander with 7 points in this half has gotten most of it, as you see right there, going toward the basket. Some of them from the other corner. You'll see him going down the lane, but generally getting to that left side where he can finish strong high off the glass. You see him off the dribble here. He'll go over to that left side and work off the window.
WKU shot 23% in the first half. They're 7 for 12, 58% in the second half. As Lander drives right and scores this time from that right block. Him and Peter just going back and forth trading buckets.
Yeah, it's toe-to-toe throwing haymakers right now.
And if you're WKU, the problem is you can't afford to go toe-to-toe right now, as a steal would help that issue. Lander has it, but then throws it into the backcourt.
Yeah, unfortunate.
To McHenry, and Lander knew it as soon as he hit the ground. He threw both hands above his head and knew what he did.
Good hustle play. You saw the Hilltoppers collapse on the ball at half court off the tip by Lander. And once they gained, he looked for the closest friendly jersey. Unfortunately, it was behind him. You kind of lose sense of direction where you are in a play like that. It's certainly understood. A lot of times it's a careless, losing concentration play. But in that case, when you're going for the ball and you get it by virtue of a scrum, you really lose track of where you are on the floor.
Cleveland has it on the right wing for Liberty. He, for the game now, is up to 8 assists to go along with 7 points. The Flames, 19 assists on 24 makes. They average 16.5 per game. Porter, right corner, Aquino now to Cleveland. 4 on the shot clock. Goes against ODI, a jump shot, and he hits it, a fall away from beyond the free throw line.
Just an indefensible shot. ODI did a pretty good job of him off the dribble, and Cleveland with the 1-foot plant push away, fall away, created so much space you couldn't have blocked it with a broom handle.
Lander, heat check three, misses long, and it's rebounded by Moffmer. He extends his season high to 12 rebounds. First year here at Liberty, came in. He played at D2 Cedarville for 4 years. Was a National Christian College Athletic Association All-American for a couple years there. As off the cut, this time it's Cleveland, the beneficiary of a pass, as he drops it in, and Liberty has blown this up to a 29-point lead again.
Yeah, real heads-up cut down the middle, and an example of some pretty sloppy defense by virtue of WKU that possession.
McHenry's three-pointer misses long, and here come the Flames the other way with Porter. Gets a screen. Tries to wrap one around. That was a tough pass to make it kick.
Ambitious.
Which is extremely rare for Porter. We talk about assist to turnover ratio. He's top 20 in the country by himself at 2.9. And Cleveland leads them in assists with 5 per game, but he'll take more chances. He racks up more turnovers. Porter usually really safe. That time he wasn't.
Yep, 8th in the history of the Flames in assists with 384 prior to this game. Very good assist to turnover ratio.
Pass overthrown on the inbound, and Edelin comes up with it for WKU. Got the edge again in turnovers. They forced 7, committed 6. Bayless quiet so far today, just 2 points on 1 for 4 shooting. Now it goes to Colombe. Dribbles with the left hand, cuts in from the elbow, falling down, gives it off to Jackson, knocked away from behind. Good hands by Matheny.
Well, Hank Polona forced to make some substitutions right here. Does not have a lot of scoring power on the floor right now. Dorsey a walk-on. Colombe had been absent for about 3 games before making an appearance at the last game. Just a strange lineup right now.
Bayless has it blocked between 2 defenders, and you bring up a good point. If you're WKU, where do you find points without McHenry, Lander, or Marshall for that matter? Hoffmer holds it deep on the right wing. Liberty content to let these possessions run down the shot clock. Cleveland uses a screen, fakes the roll, now kicks it out into the opposite corner. Off the drive, spinning through is Decker. Takes the bump, scores, and one. The Kentucky native having a day here in Bowling Green. He's got a new Conference USA high with 7 and a chance to make it 8 at the line.
Decker doesn't score a lot, doesn't play a lot, but he's a great free throw shooter when he gets there, 91%. You'll see off of that replay, he's going to get a chance to complete the old-fashioned three-point play, and does.
He now on the season is 20 for 22 at the free throw line. How he had scored 11 points total in Conference USA play coming into today. He's got 8 for the game, and we've talked a lot about Liberty. For all that you can say they excel at, depth is not one of them. But they've even been winning that battle today. Obviously, they've got a star player coming off the bench in this one in Peter, but they've been getting key contributions from multiple players that you wouldn't normally look at and expect to get those from.
Yeah, you see several guys with 7-8 minutes per game, and I suspect they're going to get some playing time here as this one goes down the stretch. Coach Richie McKay will look down his bench here before too much longer and bring some of those guys in.
Foul called as Bayless was bailed out on the drive. Tried to spin through, and I guess they get some contact there from Matheny. Not too much. He didn't like the call.
I don't see a whole lot of players that are really thrilled about a call that goes against them.
It's really either displeasure, or if there's no displeasure, that's typically just a sign of agreement. McHenry, top of the key 3. He's just trying to find it and can't right now. Great tip by Marshall. Colombe's finish, no, but a blocking foul.
Colombe was lucky right there. I thought that call could have gone the other way. But you saw the tip out from Tyrone Marshall to keep that play alive. You'll see on the miss, Tyrone Marshall to about the middle of the basket kicks it over there, and Colombe just ran over the defender.
Yep.
Peter was guilty of the foul.
Good news for WKU, at least going into the conference tournament. Colombe returned from injury, only played 5 minutes against FIU. He's played 15 in this game here today and now gets his first point as the free throw falls. And back to Marshall, we talked about this during a break. The last couple of games now, he has really been WKU's not just most effective rebounder, but really the only one that you can look at and bank on being able to either pull one down or make a play like that as of late.
He's limited in this game, only 4 points, 8 rebounds, the high for the team, but has not added much offensively.
Had 9 against FIU, right side, three-pointer, quick trigger, and it's buried from Decker. My goodness, he's into double figures with 11 points. That matches his Conference USA total coming into this game.
No scoring for WKU in about 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
Jackson left side gets the block against Decker. His season high is 2 points away. Can't tie it with the shot. And it's rebounded by Moffmer, who, speaking of season highs, my goodness, he continues to dominate on the boards. Give him 13.
This will be a memorable day for Liberty and a very forgettable senior day for WKU players.
Rare mistake from the Flames, who have ballooned this lead out to 33, 75-42 on a 10-2 run to put the final nail in this one with 7:25 to go. 75-42 Flames running away with it here inside Diddle. What better time to have a career day than back in your home state? And that's been the case for one Brett Decker from Cecilia, Kentucky, 3-star recruit from Central Hardin High School, averaging 7 minutes per game. He's matched as many points as he scored in the first 17 Conference USA games. He's got 11 here tonight, Hal Schmidt.
On 4 of 5 shooting, 2 of 3 from long range, and perfect at the free throw line, making 1. But 11 points in 8 minutes. I mean, that is the definition of efficiency.
That's what they're used to getting from their star, Talon Peter, who, well, is taking care of his normal business. He's got 21 points in 22 minutes off the bench. He averages 13.5 per game. He's played as many minutes as he averages at 22. From Russellville, Arkansas, spent a year at Tennessee Tech, bounced over to Arkansas Tech, and he's come here to Liberty and found himself a home.
Yeah, if he doesn't get taken out down the stretch, he'll get a double-double, 21 points, 9 rebounds to this point.
Left side, Lander gets to the rim again and scores. He has really had a good second half.
That's his Oz right there. He loves that left side. Goes there every chance he gets and scores predominantly from there.
He's got 11 points in the second half, 14 for the game. Had started this ball game 1 for 8 from the floor. He's now 6 for 15. Up top, Decker, catch and shoot 3. Can't connect that time. And I think it was pretty clear there. Coach McKay's trying to get him some more looks. Good chance he's got some family here in attendance today. On the baseline, Kalambe hands to McHenry. These WKU seniors, plenty of family in attendance for this game. Lander jabs, fires, all the way around and out. Marshall tips another, but this time it's collected by Moffmer.
Couldn't get enough fingertip on that one to get it to a friendly teammate there, but so it lands in the hands of Liberty, and they get things going their way again.
Cleveland gets inside, around, somehow gets it to go. We said he's a magician with the way he can facilitate. That time, waved his magic wand and made magic happen at the rim.
That's a kind of a shot that he would dream up in a game of horse against his buddies outside.
You think he called bank midair on that one?
You know, I don't know if he did or not, but I firmly believe he had that intent. You could tell that that was his best option to go off the glass with that little double clutch left-handed, underhanded scoop shot.
Gets the free throw to go as well. Cleveland in double figures in the scoring department to go along with 6 rebounds and 8 assists. So make it 12 times this year. He's had at least 5 boards and 5 assists in the same game. Jackson for 3, can't hit from the corner. And Liberty clears it down low into the ball game as Will Gibson, another one of those Kentucky natives from Louisville. He gets it down low, can't get the quick bucket. And it's rebounded by Marshall. To Jackson, all the way to the rack. He pushed his layup long, got his own miss back to Kalambe. Lander in the corner. Swings it over to Marshall. Out to Kalambe. Now they reset with Jackson. Lander, catch and shoot 3. Off the heel, high bounce, and pulled down by Moffmer. It feels like if there's a rebound to be had, he's going to come and get him.
He is scrapping still.
15 rebounds for Moffmer, who leaves it down low. Gibson fakes, and on the second, he drops it in. Gibson's first points in Conference USA play, just his 3rd appearance of the year. Collects his first bucket officially for the freshman as a part of this Liberty roster. Inside, Kalambe bumped, fouled. Will they give continuation? I think they do, so give him the and one.
You're seeing that more and more like the NBA these days. Plays that should have been whistled dead. It was clearly on the drive, but there's the foul there, and he takes one more step, one more dribble, and hoists it up through contact.
Good to see not just Kalambe playing, but now piecing it together offensively for WKU. If there's any chance of the Hilltoppers making a run like they would hope to see, a repeat of last year where they made magic happen at the Conference USA tournament, obviously much more depleted this year compared to last year, but they're going to need, while not a fully healthy Enoch Kalambe, they're going to need a able to contribute on offense Enoch Kalambe.
He's good sized kid, strong, nice girth, and he's capable. Like you mentioned earlier on, he's been scoring about 10 points a game, which the Hilltoppers could desperately need.
Aquino kicks it out right corner. Now it's given back to Decker. Up top, Porter. They've got notably here all three of the Kentucky natives with Porter, Decker, and Gibson in the game as Porter now strikes from three-point range for the 15th of the game for Liberty.
You can't let a 44% three-point shooter be that wide open. I don't care if there was a screen there or not. You've got to fight through it, fight over it, switch, do something, but you got to get a hand up on a 44% three-point shooter.
Gibson picks up the foul down low. WKU in the bonus. As had just a freshman play from a freshman.
Out of position. I mean, it's for a young man that hasn't had much exposure to the speed and the physicality of the game at this level. It's hard to compare high school to college if you haven't been in there.
Pulls down the rebound as ODI can't convert. On the front end of the 1-and-1. Liberty up 83-47. WKU's low score in conference play was 47 against the same New Mexico State team that they scored their high of 101. Decker gets inside, bumps with Lander. Collision down low as Aquino goes down, as does Jackson, and then we get a foul called underneath. I think the last thing either of these teams want is to see bodies going down and potential injuries ahead of the conference tournament.
Absolutely.
So Gibson will go to the line. There was the collision.
Aquino tried to fight through the lane. Jackson was in his way trying to keep that from happening. Both tumbled to the floor.
Gibson misses the first free throw from DeSales High School. And there, just barreled through was Jackson, who has played a good game for WKU as he heads to the bench perhaps for the final time with 8 points. Much more aggressive offensively than normal with 10 shot attempts in this one.
Yes.
As Dorsey gets the rebound off the miss. Another Kentucky native from Berea. Lander between the legs dribble. Sends it over to Edlin. He's from Louisville. Down low ODI. Right-handed hook. Misses long from 8 feet. And it's rebounded by Gabriel McKay.
The tandem of ODI, he and Keita, the two centers for WKU, exactly 0 points in this one and 5 rebounds between them.
We saw WKU earlier in the half go to that smaller lineup for more pressure as Porter tries to dial up another three. Edlin tips the rebound and saves it on the baseline. Bayless to Lander. Crossover dribble inside, kicks it out. Dorsey fakes the shot all the way to the rack. Stops, spins, fires, and scores. Second field goal of the season for Jalen Dorsey.
I'm surprised Coach McKay for Liberty is not looking down his bench right now. He's still got mostly starters in.
I think right now just leaving those Kentucky kids in. As we're going to get a foul called out there, and now it might be the end of the run for Colin Porter. He left his 3 Kentucky players out there on the floor. Of the 10 for both teams, half of them from the state of Kentucky, but Liberty able to do so with a comfortable 83-49 lead here at WKU.
Very comfortable.
Big Red taking center stage and perhaps needed to get any life out of this Diddle Arena crowd with under 3 minutes left to go in an 83-49 game. It's been all Liberty's day, and I think that about right there, Hal, sums up what it's been like for these WKU fans. And again, it's been a long season, it's been a hard season, and credit to the Hilltopper faithful for continuing to show up for this team that's been through so much this season from an injury standpoint. If you were to take what you would figure would be the ideal starting lineup for WKU, they're down to one of those 5 players at this point.
Right now you're looking at 2 walk-ons on the court, a center that needs some more development, Leroy Odiahi, Christian Lander, Bayless, the two players that have played a good bit this year for WKU and seasons past, and just not enough horses against this team.
Lander spins in, contested layup, no, but he'll go to the line for 2 free throws. WKU has cooled down from their hot start to this second half, now 11 for 26 in the second half. Still much better than the first half, as Lander's had a lot to do with that. He's got 14 points, 11 in this half.
Haven't seen as much of Don McHenry this half.
He's only played now 25 minutes in this ball game, and in the first half, he played 16 and a half of those. Perhaps one of those situations, it's what we just mentioned. If you're Coach Plona, knowing the road that you've got ahead, staring down 4 games in 4 days of the Conference USA tournament, because Louisiana Tech is beating UTEP 62-44 with under 8 minutes left in that one. At this point, you just want to escape without any more injuries.
And hope for a miracle.
Yep. Up top, Decker. That last timeout did spell the end of Colin Porter's day for Liberty. He finishes with 9 points, 3 assists. As ODI picks up the swat for the Hilltoppers.
It's his 28th block. He leads the Hilltoppers in that category, 28th on the season.
He's the much more defensive-oriented of the 2 centers between he and Keita, at least in specifically the shot blocking department.
He's more mobile. He's got some skills, but like I said, he just has to have some time to develop those.
And gets another block there as he goes up with a strong contest against Gibson. On the other end, Bayless for 3. Bang!
Bayless has been WKU's best three-point shooter, 45% coming into this game.
He was 2 for 3 against FIU from three-point range, and only taken 1 before that make today. And at least for now, they've got that as a 2-pointer. We'll see if that gets looked back. Obviously, it's not a big factor given where the game is at.
No.
But for now, that will stand as a 2-pointer. And that's what they announced it over the PA, so it will stay that way. 2-pointer for Braxton Bayless, who now has 4 points, 5 rebounds. Not as aggressive today as he had been over this recent stretch of conference play. And obviously his role changed a little bit as you bring Colombe back into the fold, but it's really one of those spots, and we saw it in the first half. McHenry is going to get his points. Whether or not the success comes for WKU will rely on what do the rest of the supporting cast offer up offensively.
It takes a village. You've got to have 5 players for sure, and successful teams will go 3, maybe 4 players beyond that to have, maintain leads, give starters a chance to catch a breath.
ODI can't score, but he's fouled underneath. Mike Caillou.
Again, that's a play that Leroy Odiahi, with some nurturing and some strength, will be able to finish strong, but just lacks the strength to play through any contact that he received right there.
Caillou, yes, like the show, from China. He's a 7-foot freshman. It's just his 13th appearance of the season. He scored 21 points, gathered 15 rebounds when he's been out there. Just the 4th time he's played in conference play. And this is a Liberty team that doesn't offer a ton of size until you see you come in off the bench with that big 7-foot imposing frame.
He's got quite a wingspan. Again, very slender. He's a player that will need to have some strength training.
He was able to tip out the rebound while fighting with Bayless, and they get him for the grab. And that will send you to the free throw line now on the other end for a 1-and-1 opportunity. And now the Diddle Arena crowd, you're probably wondering, why are they cheering? Down 83-52. And that's because Tyler Fluff Olden is checking in on his senior day here, one of the 13 for the Hilltoppers. And he's one that you can for sure say every single time his name has been called, this crowd has erupted.
He's just a very likable young man. Hails from Scottsdale, Arizona. He's a walk-on.
Got engaged in December.
He did. Have a wedding in June.
I think when they bring him out, I feel like it should be just like his basketball intro. It should be announced over the PA that he's coming in, and I would assume the reception will be the same.
It would.
As you gets the second free throw to go. He's got 2 points at the line, and it's 85-52. Lander, left side, crosses out to Dorsey, catch and shoot 3. He hits.
That is the second made 3 on the season from Jalen Dorsey. 2 of 7 now.
He had 7 points on the season coming into this game. And you can piece it together, he's got 5. Left side, deep 3, my goodness, Brett Decker stealing the show. I think he's happy to be back in his home state.
I think so too. 14 for him.
Here comes Jackson down the left side. They give Fluff a 3, and he hits it.
Biggest cheer of the afternoon for WKU fans in attendance is when Fluff Holden can come in and make a 3.
You can't give him any space.
No.
He's lethal.
Guaranteed to get the shot up, not always guaranteed to make it.
Second 3 that he's hit this season for his career number 6 that he's knocked down.
He and Dorsey have both made their second 3-pointers here on the season. Their second made all season.
Decker gets the free throws as well as he knocks down the first, up to 15 points, and he'll actually have a chance here with under a minute left to put a run at his D1 season high. As the second free throw falls, he matches it, the 16 that he had against Mississippi Valley State. Dorsey drives in, stuck down low and sends it out to Jackson. Right side drive, kick out, Lander for 3. It swishes home.
Lander with a now 12-point second half? No, 15-point second half.
He's got 18 for the game, 15 in the second half. And now if you go back between the last 2 games, 4 points in the first half, 33 points in the second half. Right side, catch and shoot 3. That one misses badly off the hand of J.C. Shire. And WKU will get it back with 25 seconds left to go, trailing 90-61 as the Flames have put up a new Conference USA high, eclipsing the 86 they just put up against MTSU. Jackson drives right. He wants to get Fluff another look. Now it goes out to Lander. He's going to fire 4 feet off the line, misses long, but the rebound secured to Dorsey for 3. Rattles off, rebound deflected. Fluff fighting for the board. He comes out of the fray. 4 seconds left.
No.
Can he hit it? Oh, misfires. That would have somehow, despite a 29-point deficit, sent this Diddle crowd home happy. But I tell you, the Liberty Flames are going to be going home to Lynchburg delighted. 90-61, the Flames peaking at the right time. 2 straight offensive explosions. They needed every single one of the 86 against MTSU. Today, how they piece it together with that elite defense.
Defense was good. WKU's offense was not up to the task today. And on the season, WKU has had a tendency to have bad offensive days bleed into bad defensive days. In basketball, you can't have a bad defensive day. You've got to play defense every day. You're not always going to have the good offensive day. But today, WKU was double-crossed with bad offense. Bad defense led to this very lopsided win for Liberty. Will not be a happy Coach Ake Pelota after this, I promise. But Coach Richie McKay on the other side should feel pretty good about his team winning the 2, sweeping on the road this weekend, playing with some momentum going into league play next week. It'll be interesting to see what happens down in Huntsville, Alabama.
And the Flames, piecing together all the numbers, should emerge as the number 1 seed in that conference tournament as well. They finished 13-5 in the regular season in conference play. It's a team that you really didn't know what to expect out the gates. They've won 10, will now make it 11 of 13 since a 2-3 start in the CUSA slate. They come into WKU on Senior Day, take care of their business. The highlight for the Hilltoppers coming from McHenry offensively in the first half. He finishes with 14 points, and then the second half, it's all Lander. He finishes with his 18. A good way to put a bookend to his run here inside Diddle.
Good, just too little too late for WKU. Couldn't get enough out of any the other 2 players, with McHenry and Lander carrying the freight for them. Just didn't get much offensively from anyone else here today. So Topper's got a little soul searching to do and a little work to do. See what happens down in Huntsville.
Liberty winners 90-61 here today. For my partner Hal Schmidt, back in the studio, our entire ESPN Plus team. I'm Tyler Eaton. As Hal said, it's on to Huntsville here on ESPN Plus.